we've got landscape architects drawing these incredibly ornate fireplaces. And one thing I've found over the years is like you send that drawing to a masonry contractor. And yes, there's dimensions on there, but like there's art that has to go into building this. And so being able to have them on our payroll and on our staff, like we can sit there as an artistic design company and say, all right, this is what we're envisioning. Let's budget it out because we have to and price it out. But we can also sit there and make it, exactly what we want it to be without it being a subcontractor relationship or like, oh, that's not in the bid. It helps make everything run really smoothly because there's not that contractor-subcontractor relationship anymore.
It's a very holistic approach.
Yeah, the communication before the project even starts.
Well, yeah, how many times have we sent like a fireplace or outdoor kitchen with a pizza oven? Or I think back to that one project we did with the fireplace with a pizza oven in it. So we had to do a two-flue chimney system. Most people, the company we're acquiring wound up being the one to do it, which speaks to their fit with our company. But I sent it to 3 masonry contractors and 2 of them wouldn't bid it because they're like, I haven't done something like that before. I don't know how it's going to be constructed. And I explained how I wanted it constructed. And they're like, I don't know how to bid that. I'm just not going to do that. So now we can push the envelope even further when it comes to design constraints and things that people are comfortable with because we're going to be there, our design development team, along with the production team and the masonry crew to say, this is how we want it done. Let's all come together and make it happen.
Yeah, and I think your point on bringing these people in house, it's removing a set of friction points, right? Like like where there could be disconnects, where there could be friction between a general contractor and a sub, or between a sub and another sub. And I think Brian might be the best to touch on this, being the true general contractor on the team. Obviously, we're never going to be able to bring in house all the trades that you would need to build a house, right? We're not going to be electricians and plumbers and HVAC guys, but we do have a lot in-house still on, even a home builder or remodel. But maybe you'd be the best to talk about how it best serves the client to eliminate as much friction in that relationship as possible, sometimes by bringing it in-house or just by being a good general contractor.
The problem that a lot of homeowners run into is when they want to be their own general contractor and they are interviewing 18 people to do a whole house remodel. Well, they have a set of plans from an architect, and then they take those that they think are good because no one's checked them but the architect and the homeowner. And then they send it out to all these trades and have their own interviews, and they get a bunch of different bids back that may or may not be detailed to the point of how many fixtures are being installed or locations of devices or type of devices. Maybe the hanging chandeliers haven't been picked out yet. So there's a lot of things that just get missed when you're looking at a bid. And that's one of the best benefits of working with any general contractor who knows what they're doing, but really us, because we take the time to understand, to develop the right plan, to know what the client wants. When we do go out to bid on certain things like electric or plumbing, we're giving our subs a full catalog of what we're installing, where it's going to be installed, and how we want it installed, so that when they give us a bid, we can look at their bid and do comparisons between the design scope of work, our written scope of work, and their proposal, and make sure that everything is checked. And then if there is discrepancies, that's why we do pre-construction walks when available. You can't do it on a home build, but in addition to remodel, getting the right people in front of the project area before bids are finalized helps answer a lot of questions there too. But it's just providing the right documentation, the right type of information, and then cross-checking it multiple times, not just me, myself, but there's estimators, there's project coordinators that are also cross-checking all these to make sure that nothing's missed. Because when you do hand a sub a plan, they're going to bid on what they find on the plan. But if you've had conversations with the client and they have expectations of what you're delivering that may not be architectural plan detailed in there.
What's on the plan doesn't always translate to the real world exactly.
Well, and one thing you're kind of alluding to too is like, where does one contractor's scope start and end, and where does the other one's pick up? There could be overlap, there could be gaps in scope that just get completely missed. But if you have somebody overseeing that, doing scope reviews with each of the subcontractors, making sure that they're communicated with well on what's expected of them, and then that could be communicated to the customer on what the expectation is, everything runs a whole lot smoother, and you wind up with less downtime, less project duration as a whole.
Rework.